Going to talk about months of inventory again. It's Monday. We spoke about this last Monday, and my intention is to speak about it every single Monday. So months of inventory is the number of months it would take for all of the active listings to sell if there were no more homes added. Meaning if there were not any more homes added after today, it's how many months all the inventory would sell. So months of inventory is an indicator of whether you're in a seller's market, balanced market, or buyer's market. And you may hear that overall, but it's important to know specifically what neighborhood has a seller's market or a buyer's market, especially if you're going to be selling or purchasing a property. So in this case, Lake Jackson was at 5.5 months of inventory, same as last week. So that puts them as a balanced market. But let's go hyper local because that's what real estate really is. And let's look at the first neighborhood that we're going to look at is Oak Forest. And last week it was at 2 months of inventory. This week it's at 3 months of inventory. 2 more listings were added, only 2 sold in the past 30 days. So that's more of a seller's market, close to a balanced market. Last week we looked at Lake Forest and that was at 5 months of inventory. This week it's at 4 months of inventory because one of the listings terminated. So it didn't sell, it terminated, so it brought down the amount of inventory to just 4 homes, and 1 had sold in the past 30 days. Tanglewood, last week it had 3 months of inventory, but there were 3 active listings, and now there are 4 active listings. Last week there was 1 that sold in the past 30 days, now we have 2 that sold in the past 30 days. So that's at 2 months of inventory, making that a seller's market. It varies from area to area. Now there is one neighborhood that is broken up into sections like B, C, D, F, and on. So when you see the listing, the subdivision will be listed as B, C, D, F, and on. So that neighborhood has 18 listings right now and only 1 sold in the past 30 days. That means there's 18 months of inventory, which indicates a very strong buyer's market. Not too far from there is Parkwood Terrace, and this neighborhood has 4 active listings. 2 that have sold in the past 30 days, so that's 2 months of inventory. If you are interested in learning about what your neighborhood, where the market stands with your specific neighborhood, comment below. I'll be providing these every Monday, so be sure and check them out.